what this dude's on. So I'm up to 6th. And we're gonna see what this dude's on here. Oh, I was like, how's he riding? Look, I'm like, how's he riding? And then I realized he's got someone on the back with him. So he is on, I have no idea, I think it's a Yamaha. Or it could be a Suzuki, I'm not sure. I just want to say I appreciate you, brother. That Chad Bianco, man, he's my hero. I mean, finally we got someone in there with a spine of steel. I appreciate you, except when I get tickets. Then I get a little grouchy. No, I'm just kidding. But you're the best. Thanks, man. Not enough people say how much you guys mean to us. I appreciate it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be doing a video today, how to ride a motorcycle for the very first time. And we're going to be going through the beginner steps, then intermediate, and then even advanced. We're going to take you all the way through all the things really that you need to know. Now, I would also suggest you go to MSF, that's Mary Sam Frank, MSF for the letters, and it's the Motorcycle Safety Foundation, and you can take a class there, and that will complement what you're going to learn here. So let's talk about what we're going to learn, and here's our mission should we choose to accept it here. So let's start off talking about what type of gear you have. Now let's start with the helmet. Okay, so the type of helmet that I have, I'm going to show you right now. There's an internal shade built into the helmet. Let's see if you can see this. See this shade right here? Let me get back here. Let's move up closer. I really hope you can... Oh, wait a minute. I can see here in the GoPro. Let's see. There you go. This internal shade right here. And there's a lever on the side of the helmet where you can drop down the shade, and it makes it so much better, so you don't have to have two different shields for your visor. Now, you can get pants that have armor in them. That's great. I have some of those pants. You can, I'm not wearing them today, but I just have these pants on because it's real hot. Let's talk about the gloves. These gloves, you see the finger, how it looks different. I could actually manipulate the cell phone with these gloves. A lot of gloves won't do that, like certain leather gloves and things like that. So it's good to get gloves where if you're going to have a mount here on your motorcycle where you can manipulate the phone, this is like a digitized finger, and whether you're left or right handed, it doesn't matter. Both fingers are that way. The cell phone holder, you're going to need one of those. This is the RAM mount. I really like those. And let's keep going here. And then we'll get on the bike and we'll ride too. Take a look at the boots. You can get these like at Big 5. Sometimes they're on sale like 30 bucks. And they're slip resistant. But if you look closely, there's a zipper on the side, which really makes it convenient because you don't have to untie the boot. You just take the zipper down, put your foot in, and you're ready to go. Now, you're going to be oiling your chain from time to time, and a lot of motorcycles won't have these spools on it. You look at all that oil I got on the spool. I got to clean that. See the spool here? And it makes it very convenient. So when you get a motorcycle, if they don't have the spools, like this one when I got it, it did not have the spools here, but they were the little holes there where I can just buy these on eBay and put them in, and it jacks up the back tire. You know, you get a motorcycle lift. They're real cheap on eBay, also Amazon, and it will jack up the tire, and then you can actually oil your own chain, save you some money. Let's see what else. So you don't have to get all these things. for your motorcycle. But when you start getting, this is a very high powered motorcycle. I think it's like 1043 cc Kawasaki Z1000. So when you start to go on longer rides, you're going to realize that these racing seats right here, they're almost like hard plastic sometimes, it feels like. And you can get this here. I got this. I love it. It's an inflatable seat. Now I know you can get custom seats like the Corbin seat and stuff, and those are very, very expensive. So I found this on eBay. I actually saw a guy on YouTube talking about it, and see how you could almost not even tell it's not part of the bike. It forms to the bike. And then look at this. You unzip this here, and it comes, I don't have it with me here, but a little plastic pump, a hand pump, and it pumps it up like in 20 seconds. It's very easy to do, and you turn this valve, and then you pump it, and then once you have, see the little cushions right here? Once you have it pumped to the part that you like, you just turn the valve, and the air stays in there. One of my favorite products, I saw a guy on YouTube, as I mentioned, talking about that, and I loved it. Now, another thing I did a lot to this bike, is you notice here, there's a little adapter here. Let's put this file here, what we're going to be talking about right here. And this little adapter has USB ports. And I could charge my phone. You can get these cables that connect to your battery, and then it comes out here. Let me just show you. This also, you can charge up your battery. So see this right here? And you can, this is going directly to the positive and negative post of the battery. And then I can go like this and connect this. And when I start the bike, and I connect this also, you'll see that it tells me the voltage, the DC and voltage going into the battery. I had a Yamaha one time, and those Yamahas, the stators are always going out on them. I talked to a guy the other day. He had a helmet. He was walking down the street. I'm like, hey, what are you riding? He's like, Yamaha. I go, have you had any problems with the stator? He's like, yeah. And I don't know what it is with the stators. With the Yamahas, they're always going out. Now this is a Kawasaki. It's been very loyal to me. So let's get on and ride. I think we've talked about, one more thing on the gear. You got to see this. So sometimes you'll be riding, especially if you're on a Yamaha, not to bash Yamahas, they're great, and you'll see people broken down even in cars. This little device can go in your backpack, and what it does, I'm sure you've heard of them, it'll jump your motorcycle like the battery, or even a car. You don't have to have it plugged in. I just have the charger plugged in, but you put this on the post of the battery, and then this right here opens up, and this cable goes in here, and let me turn it on. We should have 100% power. So it's called Red Fuel. There's other ones, but this one is very small, and it's great to have in your backpack. And if you look below this video, I'll put some videos there where a couple of times I've seen stranded bikers on Yamahas, no offense, and I'm like, what is it, the battery? They're like, yeah. And I'm able to jump them with this device and get them back on the road, because you don't really have, you don't want to be jumping your motorcycle with jumper cables in a car. But they say if you have to do that, do not turn the car on, just let it sit on the battery to charge your battery up, because you could damage your motorcycle that way. So don't start the car if you're going to jump it with the car. Leave the car off. Okay, let's get started. We're going to get on a ride, but that's some gear that you can get. Let's put this here so we can go down the list of the training. One more thing. See this backpack? How it has this little clasp here? If you can get a backpack that has these clasps, because when you start going real fast, I mean extreme high speeds, I'll take you on the freeway also here, your straps on your backpack start to open up. So let's put the backpack on. And when you first begin, go to an area like this where there's hardly anyone here. We're not going to spend a lot of time on these basics because it's so simple. So let's start the bike. And practice in a little parking lot like this, preferably maybe larger than this, you know, with no cars around. So let's get on and I'll show you some stuff. Now, first things first. Oh, I was going to show you something before we get started. Let's plug this in. See how there's no reading? Now watch. It should be... Let me show you. Get up close here. See that? Watch what happens when I rev it. We get closer. See that? So if you're on a motorcycle and you're not getting that voltage going up when you're revving it a little, there's most likely something wrong with your stator. And let's get going. So go to a parking lot like this and practice getting into gear and out of gear, and we're going to do that right now. So when you're sitting on the bike, traditionally everything on the left, when you're sitting on it, on these Japanese bikes, most bikes here in America, has to do with shifting. This is the clutch lever and this is the shift lever. If you do not know how to drive a stick shift car, I strongly suggest learn that first, because it'll make riding a motorcycle so easy if you do that first. You can learn how to drive a stick in one day and do it with the car first, okay? And then you'll do this no problem. Now, on the right side of motorcycles has to do with going and stopping. Notice, not shifting. Front brake, and that's the stopping. Here's the going, the throttle, right? And of course we have the Akrapovic. No other sound like that. I love that. And then here's the rear brake. You put your toe like this and you push down and the rear brake goes on. Your heel will be here. Most of the braking will come from the front brake. So let's get going and show you some stuff. Kickstand up. So what you're going to do when you're new, let's put this over here so we know what we're going to talk to you about. We're going to talk about shifting. What you're going to do when you're new, this isn't really flat. I don't know if you can see, it's kind of like going up. So you are going to want to find something flat, but I'll do this anyway, so watch. You're going to pull the clutch in on the left and then kick down. And what you got to understand is the shifting pattern is like a ladder. Most bikes are first neutral. You won't have second when you kick up from first. You'll have neutral, then second. A slight kick up from neutral, from first, just a slight kick up will put you in neutral. If your toe just moves up, you'll feel metal when you move your toe up down here. You'll hit second. So a slight tap, and you'll know most bikes, watch this, have the neutral light. So watch, a little slight tap, see how it's in neutral? Let's do that again. First, keep the clutch in, little slight tap up, and we're in neutral. So then you know you can release the bike and you're not engaged. Most motorcycles will not have a gear indicator showing what gear you're in. Most of them. So you can get one of those little devices that show you that. It's not really necessary. I mean, you'll get it. So let's start. Clutch in, you're going to kick down, you're in gear. So when you're new, what you want to do is just kind of wipe this debris off of here. Kind of let the clutch out, not all the way. You can't see it, but see how my hand's opening and the bike's moving, and then pull it back in. Get to learn where that zone is at. If you go to MSF, Motorcycle Safety Foundation class, they'll tell you it's the friction zone. So see how that does that? Do that a bunch of times. Now what you're going to do, kind of keep your feet just ready, kind of down there, but keep them away from the chain. Slowly let the clutch out while you're giving it throttle. Slowly, and see how you're moving. Never ever, let's talk about don'ts, never ever put your front brake on, can't go that way, while you're going around a corner. Never ever do that, even if you're going this slow. Whoa. Let's go this way. Never, ever, ever do that. You can fall over. Like right there. If I would have put my front brake on. So, give it a little more throttle. What gear are we in, guys? We're still in first, right? Practice this first. It's harder to balance, of course, going slow, put the visor down, than it is going fast. So you kind of go around like this. You're not going to get into second or anything like that, but you kind of practice going. And then, remember what I told you, going up to neutral? Practice that, okay? Watch this. Let go of the throttle, pull the clutch in, a slight tap up, and we're in neutral. Practice that a few times, okay? Now, let's go back into first. Can we go this way? Try to go where there's like no cars, right? So, kind of driving around. So you get the idea. So now we're going to practice braking. Braking, you always, this is another don't brake with while you're leaning and while you're, you know, don't put the front brake on while you're leaning, because you can crash. If I put the front brake on, just show you something here. I'm not going to show you me crashing, I hope. Let's go into neutral. Watch. Keep the handlebar straight, pull back the front brake on the right, get your feet ready to come down. When you're doing it real slow like this, it's real easy. But if you start going around the corner and you're leaning and you put that front brake on, it's going to grip onto the tire. The brakes are going to lock it up, and you're going to go, whoa, and you're going to fall over. And these bikes are extremely heavy, hundreds and hundreds of pounds. It doesn't feel like it when you're on it because you're balanced on it, right? So, and that's what you want. So keep it where you're always riding that center part. You're balancing on that center part of the motorcycle. So now let's go up to braking. We're going to take you outside also in a moment, and we'll go up to intermediate and advanced. So we're going to do braking. So watch. Go around here. We'll brake over here. You want to get yourself straight when you're going to brake. So watch. Clutch in. Slowly squeeze the front brake. If you want, you can squeeze the back brake. Now, the way you squeeze it, a good example is like an orange. You know how if you had an orange and you poked a hole in it and you want to squeeze the juice out of it, you slowly do it like that. You're going to slowly squeeze that brake. Some motorcycles are different than others. You're going to learn that some motorcycles have really catchy brakes, and some you can squeeze a little more. So that's why you practice first. Now we're going to go out on the road. So let's talk about everything that the bike does. The throttle, the front brake, the rear brake. Remember, everything on the right side has to do with going and stopping. This is the kill switch. If you have to stop, you know, you've tipped the bike over and your bike's all running, you flip this rather than trying to get your hand in with the key. This will automatically, you know, shut your bike off. Okay, this is the starter. So you're going to turn the key, wait for all the lights and gadgets to finish what they do, maybe like 10 seconds, and then you're going to hold this down and the bike will start. This here is just a handlebar, but this one's the throttle. This is just a handlebar you hold on to. This is the horn. This is the left turn signal right here. If you want to go to the right, you push it to the right. That's the right turn signal. And if you want to cancel it out, you push in. Some motorcycles have it as you're coming around the corner, just like a car, it'll go off automatically. This is the regular light. This is the bright. See it right here where my finger's at. This is the clutch lever. So before we go out on the street, and now we're going to show you some more almost intermediate advanced stuff. We're going to show you counter steering and braking. Before you go out on the street, you got to remember, let's see if we can get a stick here to show you. Let's see, this will do. This little thing will do. So, you know what a ladder is, how you climb up a ladder and you go down a ladder. Every time you kick up, you're going up these steps, these rungs on a ladder. That's a good way of explaining it. Right now, we're in neutral. See where the stick's pointing? So remember I showed you neutral's here, first is here. If I were to kick down, put my foot like this and kick down, I'm in first. If I were to put my toe underneath and slightly tap up, what gear are we in? Neutral. But if I'm in first and I just tap up, you'll know when you're on it. You can't explain it. It's like just the force of your foot. Not real hard, just firmly kick up. From first to second, you'll bypass neutral and you'll be right into second. You'll feel like your toe hitting metal. That's a good way of me explaining it. Now you're in second. If you want to go up to third, you're going to kick up again. You'll be up to third. If you want to go up to fourth, you're going to kick up to fourth. You're always passing through those gears. You're not going to go 6 to second. You're going to go 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 5, 4, 3. You're always going to be going up and down that ladder. So let's get on and go out on the street and we'll show you some braking. So, and now we're going to go up into the higher gear. Okay. So the gear shift sequence is going to be the hardest thing for you to get down. It's not hard, but it's the hardest thing for you to get down, because you got to remember, here's what you're going to do. Let's say you're driving. You're not going to just go into gear with that throttle held back. You have to release the throttle. That's step one. You're going to do this like within a second or 2 seconds. You're going to be, you'll get so good at it, you'll see. Release the throttle, step one. Step two, pull the clutch lever in, like how I'm doing. With the clutch lever held in, you're going to kick down or up, excuse me, into any gear you want. Remember, if you're in third, what are your choices? Second or fourth? Those are going to be your choices. If you're in fourth, what are your choices? Fifth or third? If you're in sixth, what are your choices? Fifth. You see how you only have so many. So many choices. So clutch lever in, kick down, we're in first. Slowly give it a little throttle. Now watch this. When you're coming up here, pull the clutch lever in, stay in first. You don't have to get out at first. Keep the handlebar straight. The number one thing I want to teach you today is keep the handlebar straight, because you're going to be falling over if you don't. Okay, give it a little bit of throttle while you're letting the clutch out. We're in first, right? Now we're going to put the visor down because it's going to get a little windy right here. We're in first. Let's go up to second. Notice I release the throttle, clutch lever out, I'm in second. Now if I tap down from second slightly, what happens? You got it. We're in neutral. See that? Now, make sure you're ready to be in gear. Like right now the light's going to change because I can see it's yellow over there. Okay, good. It's not changing for us. One of the things on a motorcycle you're going to find is the lights don't change sometimes. The bike, even though it's hundreds and hundreds of pounds, they don't make these sensors underneath the ground to go off. But it's good because I can talk right now. So how do you fix that? Well, there's these things, you guessed it, on eBay that you can put under your bike, that like these blocks of metal, you put them under your bike. They're like a magnet type thing, and when you get to a light, it'll trigger the light. You can get those things. Some guys just run the light, and to my surprise, look at these guys on these little mini bike things going down the sidewalk, which is totally illegal, but that's what freedom looks like, folks. So I'm surprised that cops, like if you have to go through the light, I've been surprised that a lot of them have been very kind. I go, look, the light wasn't changing. They're like, I know, man, but you know, the only reason I'm not giving you a ticket is you did it when no one was around, so it's not dangerous. Now there's a car coming up behind us. I'll move up a bit so they get on the sensor. This doesn't happen with all the lights. Look at, never put your foot down. People think it's like a skateboard. You put your foot down to slow yourself down. So clutch lever in, we're going to kick into first, and I'm going to take you through some mountain areas and talk to you about counter steering, and we're going to throw in some braking. Counter steering, if you don't know this, I'm telling you guys, you're going to crash. don't be afraid of counter steering. All counter steering is if I want to go left, I'm going to pull back towards me on the right handlebar and kind of push a little forward on the left handlebar, and it's going to lean the bike to the left. Because at very high speeds, these heavy bikes, you know, you just can't lean them around a corner. You're going to be counter steering. And when you counter steer like that, and the light's green so I can still talk. When you counter steer like this, I want to go to the left, I'm going to push forward on the left, just applying pressure, pull back on the right, and it's going to lean me around the corner. If I want to go right, I'm going to slightly apply pressure on the right and pull back on the left, just very little, like a hair's breadth. And you'll feel the bike leaning like that. This only happens at very high speeds, like on freeway on-ramps. You know what? Let me move up a bit. Thank you. There we go. Probably was going to go anyways. Okay, first gear. Slowly give it throttle. Now watch. We want to go to second. What are we going to do? Release the throttle, clutch lever in, kick up to second, release the throttle. Then and only then do you go back on the throttle. Now watch this. We're going to go faster. Third. Fourth. Release the throttle, clutch lever in, kick up to fourth. Now we want to stop. Keep those handlebars straight. Watch this. Third, I'm not having my hand on the throttle. Second, now I'm going to go slowly. I'm barely moving. You can go down to first. All right. I want to show you counter steering here. We're in second. This thing is like a beast rocket, I'm telling you. Third. Now, we're going to have a corner here to the left. We're going to pull back on the right while applying pressure to the left. I'm going at a higher clip because I want you to see this. Right here, pulling back on the right. Watch this, pulling back on the right. It's very easy, don't let it freak you out. If I want to go to the right and I slightly pull back on the left, notice I'm going to the right. If I want to go to the left, I slightly pull back on the right and I go to the left. You see how it is? So what happens, and now I'll take you on the freeway, okay? We'll go to more advanced stuff. We're going to do some braking too. So what happens at higher speeds, you are going to be doing, hold on, this is kind of loose here. Right? At higher speeds, you're going to be doing that. That's lane splitting. It's legal in California. So, one more time, I want to tell you about it. You're going to the left at a, see, this is kind of a gradual corner, so I don't have to counter steer. You see. Now, I'll counter steer on this on-ramp because I'm going to get some speed going on the on-ramp, and so I'll counter steer a little bit. I'm not just going to lean. All right. We're going to stop. So watch this. Slowly applying front and rear brakes, clutch lever in, downshifting, clutch lever in, downshifting, clutch lever in, I'm in neutral. That's how you do it, folks. I like to stop in neutral. Lights turning red over there, so now I'm in first. I like to be in gear, ready to go when the light changes. Okay, let's do it. Second, when do you shift? Normally, I'll shift if I'm casually driving at 5,000 RPMs. If you have a 300 or a 400 or a 250, you're going to shift at a lot higher RPMs. Those bikes love to be read up there, I should say, ridden up there near the red line. All right, watch this. Downshift. Let's get over here. Downshift. Now I'll slowly put it neutral. See that? See the light over here turn red? You're always watching that side light. If you don't want to stall your bike taking off, put it in first. Give it a little bit of rev so you hear it. Make sure it's revved first before you take it out of gear. All right, we're going to take the pole position here. We're going to get on the freeway over here. We're in second. back to neutral. Notice, keep the handlebars straight. I'm using front brake and rear brake. Now, let's talk about the freeway. On the freeway, speed is life. The fighter pilots have a saying, it's called situational awareness, where every second you're conscious of what's around you. Some people will ride the bike like, well, I have the right of way, and I have, hey, the light's green for me, and all that. Well, you're gonna die. I'm just telling you. All those rules of etiquette go out the door when you're on a motorcycle, my friend. Ride like you're invisible, and that's the best advice I can give you. So, just because you have the right of way, don't say, hey, I was supposed to get in this one. Good thing. Just because you have the right of way, we're not going to be doing counter steering on this on-ramp, but I'm going to get on it, right? So let's show you some fun stuff. We'll get on it, getting on the freeway. We'll get up to like 60 pretty quick. Just because you have the right of way doesn't mean that, you know, you have the right of way technically. There's many moments where I have the right of way and I did not take the right of way and I didn't crash. I haven't crashed yet. I've had it where my bikes fell over, like at the gas pump, and little tiny things like in the parking lot when I was new, you know. All right, let's get on this here. See if we see any bikers. Okay, we're in second. Third. We're at 60 already. Fourth. This is another reason why you want to get, in my opinion, at least a 600 for the freeways if you ride in Texas or California. These cats over here, it says 55. That's a truck speed limit. But look at, I'm going like 65 and people are passing me. All right, so the other day, let's talk about where do you ride on the freeway. If you're riding close to people, ride behind their tire. This is just my personal advice. Other bikers will tell you to ride here. I do not recommend that if you're riding close to people. See, I call this close. If there's no cars around, of course you're going to ride in the center lane. Why do I say that? Two reasons. Number one, they can see you when you're like right here. Number two, the other day, I saw a good example of this. There's two motorcycle YouTube channels you should subscribe to. I have nothing to do with them, but they're epic. Dirt Bike Lunatic and Moto Madness. You'll see some of my videos that actually I've had the honor of making it there. Well, in this one video, the guy's riding like how I am now, right here, behind the guy's drive shaft, right in the center. Well, if there's some debris in the road, is that vehicle going to be able to go over it? Well, maybe, if it's low enough. Well, what happened, let's get on it. What happened was this motorcycle rider was following a vehicle, and he was close, and he was right here. He was close to the vehicle, he was right here. And a rock or a brick went, and he didn't have time to move. It was like there in the twinkling of an eye, and he hit it with his front tire. Now, thank God he didn't crash. He went up, but when he went up, that rock hit underneath the motorcycle, because the motorcycle, that, you know, all your exhaust is here and the radiator's here, and all of a sudden his bike started acting weird, and he pulled off, and oil was just pouring out. It damaged, probably cracked his motor. So if I'm like this, see how far away that guy is, then I'll ride like this, because if something, it comes between his tires there, I can move and get out of the way. But if you're like kind of in bumper to bumper traffic, let's go through here. Then you don't want to ride like that. Now, freeway riding, we're going to talk a little bit about that. Freeway riding, you do have a higher risk of fatality if you crash, because, you know, people can run over you. Street riding, you have a lower risk of fatality. So what can you do to reduce your chances of fatality? They say to dress so good with such good gear that if you jumped off the motorcycle, you would survive it without any broken bones. You can get pants that have armor in them. They're like $50 on eBay, Amazon. This jacket has armor in the elbows. It's called CE armor. It's not really metal armor. It's like a... I don't even know what it's made out of, plastic or something. And it also has like a back protector armor and then shoulder protectors. The gloves here, my knuckles are rock hard knuckle protectors. So, however, on the freeway, your chances of crashing are less. You have a smaller chance of crashing on the freeway. Why? Well, look, all I'm doing is just sitting. I'm not having to really shift gears or anything like that. So it's great. So remember, braking, keep the handlebars straight. Wow, the sun went behind the clouds. Come on, sun. Keep the handlebars straight, because you have to make a panic stop and all the weight is perfectly distributed like this. You're going to survive that. I guess we could talk about lane splitting. I believe California is the only state in the U.S. where lane splitting is allowed. And this is lane splitting where you're going down the middle here. I'll put some videos of me lane splitting. One, I was lane splitting and there was a mastiff, a big dog, or a pit bull, can't remember. And its head was sticking outside the window. Always good to make sure. Hold on. Always good to make sure there's no pit bull mastiff's heads sticking outside the window. Now, let's talk about what type of motorcycle you should get. If you're gonna be going the freeways all the time, you ain't ever gonna want something with low power. I'm telling you, people will say, well, the bike will go 80 or 90. There are some bikes, the top speed, some of the 250s that are great bikes, the top speed is like around 80 or 90, but you're riding in the practically in the red line the whole time and the thing's screaming like a stuck piggy. So you're going to want something with some power, some meat on its bones. Now, it says 75 and we're at 5,000 RPMs. That's perfect. I like riding right at 5,000 RPMs. It's not too low on the tack, but it's not too high. Like if I need to just go, I can just give it a little throttle and I'm lurched forward. So if you're going to start off, I know you guys are going to be told, start up on a 250. You're going to get so many people giving you that advice. Oh, that's wonderful. You're going to be riding all by yourself. But if you're going to ride with some friends and they have 400s, 300s, 600s, you're going to be by yourself even with them. Because they're going to want to, you know, have some fun. They're going to want to be going through the twisties. I think you can keep up with them. That's where those 250, 300s come into their own. But you're not going to be able to keep up with your friends. They're going to be like leaving you in the dust, and they're going to be like, bro, you got to get some, bro, you got to get something with some power, bro. And no, trust me, you're going to outgrow the 250, 300. Be a man. Get a 600. Now, what if you are, right now all the limp-wristed atheist riders are like, I can't believe he said get a 600. Well, I'm not a limp-wristed atheist rider. I'm a bold Christian conservative rider. I can't believe Shock said get a 600. There's no difference if I'm, I'll tell you, there's one difference, but there's no major dangerous difference between a 600 and a 250 300. In fact, the reason why I'm telling people you should get a 600 if you're going to be riding the freeways, because they're safer. You're getting out on these high-speed freeways and there's a big semi coming up behind you, and you're on a little 250 300 sewing machine motor, yeah, do the sign of the cross. Good luck with that. But if you're on a 600, I have faith and confidence that you will be able, in any gear, to get out of that vehicle's way. I remember I got a, what was my first 600? I got a Suzuki GSXR 600. I'll put all my motorcycle videos below here. You should check them out, where I do reviews on other motorcycles and stuff. And I was being told by the wimpy atheist riders, no, start off on a 250 or a 300. So, like an idiot, I listened to the wimpy atheist riders. I should have listened to the bold, spine of steel Christian riders. And I started on a Ninja 250. Well, I was on the freeway. It'll do freeway speeds, but hell, to get from 30 to 80 takes forever. I remember I was reading the book War and Peace while I had it full throttle waiting for it to get up to 80. And people get pissed off at you when you're on that little powered bike because they want to move and you're holding up all the traffic. And then plus I noticed you go through tires. Those tires are like little bicycle tires. You can always tell the power of a bike based on the tires. Now I'm taking you to a very busy city down here where there's lots of motorcycles. Hopefully there's sport bikes. We're going to get on it a bit and get around these people. If I can find an opening. So anyways, back to my story. I started off on a 250 and it was great on the streets, but even when you're braking, the brakes don't feel like it's like 10-speed bicycle brakes. You're like, everything's so little and tiny, but it was great on gas. So I said, I got to get something with some meat on its bone. So I was looking on the internet and I saw a GSXR 600, like sport bike. And I said, you know what? I'm going to get that. I'm going to ask the guy. So I asked the guy, I said, is it scary, because my atheist friends with limp wrists, they're all saying that, oh no, start on 250. And the guy was a Christian. And he's like, dude, you're not going to notice really any difference except it takes off faster. And here was the best part. He said on the freeway, it's not going to be revved up to 13,000 RPMs. It'll be around 5,000 or 6,000 RPMs, like half the power. Less wear and tear on your motor. So I got it, and I got on the freeway. I'll put the video of that bike right below here. And I got on the freeway, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like riding a Lamborghini. It's like smooth as butter. It was awesome. Let's get around these people. And I think we're getting off here yet. And I felt so much safer. You could do the same thing. It's just like a 250, 300, except it does it better. Yeah, I said it. So then I thought, our next off-ramp over here. I thought, well, wait a minute. How about if I go up to 1,000? So I went up to a ZX-10. It was like an old school ZX-10. It looked like a police officer bike, a cop bike. You can see me challenging a police officer to race right below this video when we both pull up together at the light. And I go like, hey, are we going to race? And he's like, yeah, and I'll give you a ticket afterwards. I'm like, no, sir, I don't want a ticket. All right, so watch this. We're downshifting. But anyways, I got the ZX-10, and I'm like, this thing is awesome. So I'm just talking freeways. If you're going to go freeways, you're going to need something with some meat on its bones. See how the bikes are balanced too? You don't have to really like try to concentrate on balancing it. I always have some newbies email me, and I don't mind if you guys email us, but they're like, well, how do you balance it? It's balanced, you see. You just stay straight and balanced on it. It's balanced. So anyways, check it out. We're keeping the handlebars straight and you come to a stop. So now we're going to show you lots of shifting, lots of braking. We're going to take you to a very hustling and bustling downtown over here. A lot of people down here, you know, right now, the governor, Gavin Newsom, or as I call him, Gavin Nuisance, they're trying to recall him. And see, here's all the bikes right here. I don't see any sport bikes though. And he has a mandatory mask requirement. And what I love about this area is they tend to be more conservative people. They don't wear the mask. You'll find about, I would say, 80% of the people here don't wear masks. Did you hear Fauci said, I think we need to wear 2 masks. If Fauci's ever in the road, I'm going to have to fight my flesh to drive around him. Fauci's a nut. All right, so we're in second gear. This is a great street because it's constant stop and going, stop and going. So we're in third gear now. So watch this. Downshifting to second. See, if the tachometer, let me tell you something, the tachometer, see my tach right here kind of going up like that? If the tachometer is below like 3,000, then, you know, everything being equal, it's a little bit safer to downshift. As you can see, we're going into the bumper-to-bumper territory here. Probably just stay in first the whole time. Now, let me tell you about the time I went to MSF class and the girl started crying because she failed the course. MSF class is great. Look for Motorcycle Safety Foundation. See, the number one reason why people take the MSF course is because it helps you bypass the very challenging DMV course. The DMV course is, in my opinion, worthless. It's stupid. They have these little cones that you slowly have to go around, which you never really do that in real life. You know, and there's this little like figure 8 thing, you have to stay on the line and everything, and then if you put your foot down or go outside the line, they it's an automatic fail. So when you go to MSF class, they let you bypass the very difficult and challenging MSF course. And so basically, hey, wait a minute. He doesn't have a mask. Good. Freedom. So basically, when you go there, they have all these bikes, little 250s. They're all like 250s. You know, Ninja 250s, Honda Rebel 250. Great bikes to learn on. And there's a huge parking lot, about the size of what we practiced in, except there's no cars there. Oh, and I stalled it. And so there's no cars there, right? And you just bring, like, you have to have helmet, gloves, and boots. That's the only requirement. You don't have to have like a motorcycle jacket or anything like that. And they let you actually ride the bikes. They let you test them. And okay, no mask. That's good. Oh, he has mask. So they teach you everything in a class before you even get on the bike. They teach you braking, counter steering, shifting, all this stuff. And then at the very end, I'll tell you when that girl started crying. Look, there's a cop right here to the right. He's seeing if everyone's let's go over here. I just want to say I appreciate you, brother. That Chad Bianco, man, he's my hero. I mean, finally we got someone in there with a spine of steel. I appreciate you, except when I get tickets. Then I get a little grouchy. No, I'm just kidding. But you're the best. Thanks, man. Not enough people say how much you guys mean to us. I appreciate it. Yeah, always. So, they have a new sheriff called Chad Bianco. And this guy is great. Oh, sorry about that. Anyways, back to MSF course. So, still in first. So, in the class, though, there's this one thing they make you do, and I kind of, like, was freaking me out. I'm like, how the heck do you do that? And, what you had to do is they had this box, like, they put out in the middle of the... I'm going to go left here, because I'm going to want to get you guys some speed here. Put the signal on. They had this box that, thank you, brother, thank you, that they put out there, and you had to go towards the box and then go around it, like go at it at speed and then kind of like go around it, you know, kind of like that, you know. And even I was like, really? That's what you want me to do? We'll take you on the freeway and end this video. Oh wait, let's just inch our way out, because we ain't ever gonna go. Thank you. So and this beast of a motor needs air. This thing wants to breathe. It wants air shooting into it. All right, so we'll go back out here. So you go towards this box and you go, whoa, and you like go around it, right? And then, oh, there's the bikes there. Not many bikes. That's where I was going to take you, but there's not many. And so I did it and I passed, you know, and then everyone was passing. A lot of females. There's probably like 30% of the people were females in there, and they passed. But there was this one girl, every time the teacher would like, look, here's how you brake, she just would not listen. She would do it her own way. And he would say, no, you do it like this. And she kept having her handlebars crooked and stuff. The main thing is just listening. Look at that awesome vehicle. Listening and then doing exactly what they say. So now that cop's behind me. Let's see what he did. He's going over there. So she started crying. They're like, because some of her friends were there with her and they passed, right? And she started crying. But I heard through the grapevine that she passed, as they let you take the whole course again free. And so this sign says no turn on red, 4 p.m., 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Okay. Hold on a second. I keep stalling this. Need to listen to my own teaching. Here we go. And so she passed, but you should go to MSF course. Don't rely on this video. We're going to go north here, so we'll go squeeze in here. Another thing too is, I know a lot of you guys are doing wheelies. You love doing the wheelies. And you should get if you're going to be doing wheelies, get a piece of crap motorcycle you don't mind thrashing on. And then get like a nice bike like this, or, you know, whatever. Because otherwise you're going to mess up your bike. Let's see what this dude's on. So I'm up to 6th. And we're going to see what this dude's on here. Oh, I was like, how's he riding? Look, I'm like, how's he riding? And then I realized he's got someone on the back with him. So he is on, I have no idea. I think it's a Yamaha. Or it could be a Suzuki, I'm not sure. So anyways, riding a motorcycle is awesome. You guys should do it. I strongly suggest you go to the MSF safety course. That course is awesome. They're not going to get you on the freeway. They're just going to show you how to like shift gears and whatnot. You know, the basics. I'll take you on this one last on-ramp over here. I'm gonna let this dude over. I could tell he wants to get over. But it's awesome, guys. You should really get a motorcycle. It's just the open air and the freedom of it, and it's just exhilarating. It's like, you remember as a kid you'd go to Disneyland and or Magic Mountain or any of these rides. It's just a blast. Absolute barrel of monkeys. Of course, the more power you get, the more fun it is. Alright, here's our on-ramp. Let's see. hit it at a good clip, but everyone's moping along. See if the Honda dude sees me. Just a black. So God bless you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. So what did we learn? Braking, always keep your handlebar straight. Never put your front brake on when you're going around a corner. You have these little patches of tire that are touching the asphalt. And when you are going around a corner and you just put that front brake on, you can lose traction so easily.